too heavy, and then that'll stop the cap from creeping. My first year or two at SNL, the biggest problem I had was, that was before I started doing using the zinc oxide powder.
Yeah.
The biggest problem we had was, after we put on a bald cap and between dress rehearsal and air, there's a little bit of time, the bald caps would start to creep back on you. Even though you're using Prosthetic and double contacting it, they would start to creep, and it would drive me crazy. And then I read in Makeup Artist magazine an interview with Kevin Haney that he used zinc oxide on Meryl Streep's mouth for Death Becomes Her, I think it was, to stop the pieces from coming up around her mouth. And I was like, oh, let me try to see if that works for, you know, my bald caps to stop it from creeping. And I do that now. Every bald cap that we got on SNL gets zinc oxided before. If it's got to stay on for any length of time, zinc oxide first. It makes it harder to get off at the end of the night, but it saves you a heck of a lot of time. Let's just move that down there a little bit. Just so that the hair doesn't come out from under it. Just a little bit. But yeah, that zinc oxide is worth its weight in gold. Yeah, that works with pretty much with transfers, if you want it to stay down really well, with anything that's got Prosthetic in it, or I don't know what it does to the Prosthetic, but it makes it bite more, it makes it stay on a heck of a lot better. Okay, so now the cap is pretty much done. We've glued all the way on the sides of her neck, but the back of the nape of the neck is still open. And like, see now, if you look at in the video, you'll see these lines from the stocking cap that, if you're trying to do a nice bald cap on somebody, you're gonna see all that. So we take that little string that's sticking out the back, and give it a little tug. It slowly, carefully slides away. So now we've got all that little ridge over there where the stocking cap was, and if there was pin curls in here, you could just massage the hair to make it flatten out a little more so it's nice and smooth. But we didn't have, this way we don't have to fight all those little hairs sticking out. It makes life a heck of a lot easier. And I wish I could remember if it was. It was from a bald cap video. I still watch any videos or any little, I'll buy every video, any book that's out there, read it and devour it. And you never know, you'll find some little tidbit of information that you didn't think of. Yep. Once the cap is on, just that little bit of acetone on a Q-tip.
That design so fast.
And it burns away that edge really beautifully.
Is there any reason that acetone is cutting through that so fast? Because I've worked with acetone based Baldy's caps, and it's not usually that fast.
It's these are the Alco. I'll get these caps all from Alco, and they make these. They're really thin and beautiful. It's also I've got there's just you put so much pressure on the tug and so much pressure on how you're putting the alcohol, and it just I don't even think about it anymore. I think it just kind of there's just that right amount of pressure and it comes loose. There is an occasion when you'll get a really thick ball cap and it won't cut. It won't want to burn on you, but that happens rarely. Yeah, I've tried to figure out how many ball caps I've done in my 22 years at SNL, and I couldn't even think about it. We do an average of 2 caps, 3 caps, 4 caps a night. Over 22 years, 22 episodes a year. Pre-tapes, I couldn't even, it's a lot. I've done a few. So now once we've got that done, we're gonna pax, well, first we're gonna bind it. Oh, you got that already? Prostate around the edge. I like to prostate around the edge a little bit, and then I'll take a littlest bit of Bondo. The thing about the caps is that there's no texture on these. They're really smooth, and one of the things on HDTV you notice is that there's no texture on the cap. It's just you go from skin texture to no texture, and that's one of the giveaways of a bald cap. And I like to just stipple, just an orange stipple sponge. I'll stipple just a little bit to tapering it off to break up the texture. It just makes the cap look that much nicer when you're done with it. And then I'll do some PAX washes on, sorry I'm making a mess here. We do these PAX washes on top of the bald cap in 3 different colors, and then we'll rip up a sponge so it doesn't have this, it has this broken pattern across the front of it. And what that does is when you stipple on, you're not getting a solid, like if I did it with this side, you see these solid hard lines on the side here of her head. That kind of doesn't look nice. So we always like to break it up a little bit. And these are just regular packs, acrylic paint and Prostate mixed together. And sprayed with a little bit of water so it's not a solid color. So many times I see people do washes and they're just solid colors, and it just drives me crazy. First we start with a red undertone. Then we go to a Shinto-y kind of color. I tend to use the same sponge because it's going to go right back on the head. And it blends in a little bit more. Once we've got, that's 2 colors, then we go in with like an ivory kind of color. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got a couple of PAX washes, PAX colors on there. And then I still like to use grease paints. I'll still use a little bit of grease paint. This is my method of doing it. I do a PAX wash, I'll do a little bit of grease paint on top of that, and then I speckle over that whole thing with Illustrator colors. Grease paint, grease paint. And these are just regular RCMA grease paints that we put into these little pallets. Every station has one of these over on SNL. Just makes life easier. This is like the go-to colors for just about everybody on our cast. And I'll start with Jenna Beige. And again, I'm not doing a solid color, I'm just doing stippled colors, so it's breaking up the pattern. That's what's nice about these little containers too, is I like to spread it out. It's little Bob Ross, you spread it out and then just tap it. Tap the color. Because you don't want to just go straight from here and dollop it right on top of somebody's head, because then you get these big chunks of grease paint, which nobody wants. So we do this about around her whole head. Usually on the show on SNL, there'll be 2 other people jumping in the middle of this if there's time or if they're not doing anything. And like, while one person's doing the front, 2 people are doing the front, 2 people will be doing this on the back of the head. And that's what makes it good. The teamwork we have over there between the makeup department, the hair department, the wardrobe department, everybody just kind of works together to make it happen. Then I go in with this color, which really, it's going to be kind of hard to find. I got to find a replacement for it because RCMA stopped making it. It's just this red 6205 color. It's not really around anymore, so it's going to be one of those tough finds. But I'm sure I'll find something that's going to replace it. Yes. Yeah, I called JR. He's mixing me up a special batch. Do you have a pigment color that might? Okay, good to know, because I was like, because that's been my go-to color. Again, I'm a creature of habit, and it's been like the color of choice to blend in a cap, and it just works so well. So it's looking pretty good already, and that's just 2 colors of grease on top of those washes. Again, that's the whole smearing it across the palette and then just tapping it and picking up a couple of little dots. I think I'm going to airbrush the rest of the head. Okay, so that's the bald cap end of it. It's starting to look pretty good so far. Now comes the fun part. This is what brings Shud to life. And these are just one of the weirdest things. On Wednesday night, we have our table read for SNL, and after reading the script, the writers came up to me, they're like, okay, so we want to take Kate McKinnon and turn her into this. I wish I had a picture of a blob. You can look it up online. Blobfish is a pretty ugly, disgusting looking thing. Look, as much as we can make her look like this ugly, disgusting thing, let's do it. And Kate was just she was like, yeah, whatever, you do it, I'll wear it. So then we built this beautiful thing. It's a silicone appliance, gel-filled, gel 10 inside, cap material on the outside. And it's a 380 mold with air dough on the inside. This is 25. This is actually gel 25, which is the new gel silicone product, which is really nice. It's softer. You don't need as much deadener in it. All right, so you're gonna breathe through your mouth for a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just cutting out her nose just so one less thing we gotta deal with. Okay. When we do this on the show, here's one of the tricks that we do to get this to go down really quick. When we did it the last time, and pretty much most of the time when we do it on SNL, it's got to go on fast and come off really fast. So what I'll do is I'll prosade the whole inside of the piece, like this big meaty area here will have a layer of prosade on it. The nose tip will have a layer of prosade on it. This way, this is just like one big Band-Aid, and as soon as Kate sits in the chair, we stick it on and it sticks right to her face without having to put more adhesive on. And this way, when we got to get her out of this whole makeup, it'll peel off like a Band-Aid, and we only just got to clean off the edges. Anything that'll save us time is a godsend. Can you hold it for us? And this is Telsis. You don't really have to double contact this stuff.
What are the round brushes you're using?
Excuse me?
What are the round brushes you're using?
These are special makeup brushes by Dick Smith. This is from the old Dick Smith kit, and I believe Alcone still sells these. They're still my favorite applicator brush. I use a lot of Bedellin brushes as well, but when
they
I
look
want,
really sharp.
They're really sharp, really pointy, and they're really cheap. They go bad really fast, unfortunately, but you know, it's a Dick Smith thing. Can't go wrong with it. And I've been using these. I have no one. I mean, I bounce from product to product. I'm always using whatever's going to get the job done the easiest and the quickest and the fastest and the best. So we're going to go work around the mouth here a little bit to make sure that this is locked in right.
encapsulator are you using?
This is regular Baldies. One of these days I'm gonna start playing with some super Baldies.
You know what? I love the regular Baldies.
Do you like super Baldies or regular Baldies?
I like the regular because too many times we've had the super and you start eating away the encapsulator.
That's the reason why I'm still hesitant. Although the eye bags that we make for Melissa McCarthy as Sean Spicer, those are super Baldies eye bags. Just because working around the eyes so close. Oh, thank you. That was a fun one trying to.
Disturbingly creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy the first time we did that on her. We're like, oh my gosh, this is just creepy, but good in a creepy sort of way. Like once we put that, and then she would just get a silicone ball paint. She gets a silicone ball paint, silicone eye bags, and then just a lot of paint and powder, and then a beautiful wig by Jody. And it all comes together so beautifully, so nicely. And that's one of the best things about being at SNL. Like we work, the whole team, everybody works so well together. Everybody puts in so much effort and so much design work goes into it. And it's been really great this season that people have been noticing it. People have been seeing what goes on, and it's unfortunately we have Trump to thank for it. But hey. Is that thing on your side, Jason? The only reason why I'm like on something like this that I'm a little scary about using regular Baldies on is on this area here it tends to go over the bald cap, and the bald cap dissolves with acetone, as does the silicone appliance dissolves with acetone. So you just got to be really, really careful in that area. But let's just hope we don't have a happy accident. Feel okay? As good as it's gonna feel. Like a makeup like this, we end up building in a matter of days. We find out Thursday night what the sketch involves and what makeup we need to do, and Wednesday night, and then Thursday morning we come in and we start sculpting it and molding it, starting running the pieces. And then we have to have on a new makeup something like this. Like the first time we did it, we had to have 3 because sometimes Lauren wants to see it during the run through in the afternoon. Then we do a full makeup and hair dress rehearsal at 8 o'clock, and then there's the actual show at 11:30. Then by 11:30 we hope we got it right. We had just something like that happen this week with the Bill O'Reilly makeup we did on Alec Baldwin. We did a test of it on Friday afternoon, and then from there we tweaked a little bit. I added some earlobes, some ear clips, and then we got Saturday for the dress rehearsal, and then the air show. And you hope that you made the right choices.
Louie, do you ever pre-paint?
Sometimes not. Sometimes for SNL, like the pre-painting for the host I'll pre-paint sometimes. But for the cast I try not to. I don't know why. Yeah. It just, it also, because one of the things about pre-painting with the cast is sometimes you don't know what the sketch they're going to be coming from is. So they might be tan or something in one sketch, and then you pre-painted it with a light flesh tone. You're like, oh, well, now I gotta crazily overpaint this makeup now. So it's the pre-painting really doesn't come in too handy on SNL. But with the host, we usually know where they're going, and we can kind of tell them this has to go after this, that has to go after that. It's a lovely makeup, isn't it? It's not the most glamorous thing to have glued to you. And Kate's just such a trooper to get all this crap glued to her, and then we'd have to take it all off, and then she's got to look glamorous and beautiful for the next sketch, and you're like, oh my gosh. Breathe through there, okay? As possible. I'm just going to go over the edge with just a little bit of Prosthetic just to seal it in, lock it back. The application part of it. Now we're going to glue this bad boy down. I mean, paint it all up. Airbrush. Ooh, these are all going to fall from here. We'll put these here. These are just Illustrator colors. There's a few that I like that tend to work for me the best. Again, creature of habit. I like a light mauve as a warming color. A little light mauve. And then I'll go to a natural 1, a little rice paper, and then a little smattering of like natural 2 to give some freckles here and there. So you gotta just make sure these are mixed up really well. And then I like everybody has their preference of airbrushes. I tend to go with the Pache H. I like it because it's a workhorse. It doesn't clog. I can spatter with it really well. I can get, if I put my thumb over the top of the bowl, I can spatter the whole head in like seconds as opposed to sitting there trying to do that little.
Which tip?
The 3, but one of the things I like to do, alcohol. Okay. Want to go see if we can grab some from somewhere? Alright, let's see here. So I'm going to just get a nice spatter pattern. I usually go bring it down to like a, I don't know, how much is PSI? Like a 5 to 10 PSI. And get a little spatter pattern. Most people like to take their time spattering. You'll see the little dots coming out, warming up that face. I usually tend to, when we're doing the show, I tend to stick my thumb over the top of the bowl, and that makes more paint rush through the bowl, through the head, and I can do the whole, spatter the whole head in like seconds. Because normally, like when you do a spatter, if you have time, if you have hours to do it, you definitely, of course, want to go spatter as slowly as you possibly can. But I get very impatient. Here we're gonna go. I got time to kill. And then I usually spray it onto a tissue just so I make sure I got the right pattern I'm going for. Then you just adjust there's a little knob here that adjusts your pattern of how much hair is coming through. And if you don't feel comfortable using an airbrush, for me it just goes faster. You can use the old flicking of with a bristle brush, with a chip brush. Everybody's got their preferred way of doing things. Keep your eyes closed. It's just a little red. Just to warm up the piece a little bit.
Louie, on the show, do you do master batches of silicone? Like, you're intrinsically colored?
No, we just kind of color as we go.
Okay.
But we know we have like a form. We know, okay, this is this person's skin tone, match that. This is that person's skin tone, match that. Just because then when you pre-mix it, I find it settles. It doesn't. I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm like, we just kind of mix it. Jason's the one that's usually doing all of that.
It's up here. Because you do so much on such a bulk.
Yeah, you would see in the shop, because the other thing too is sometimes they'll go away, they'll come back, they're a little darker, they're a little lighter. So what color you have, I like to try and look at them and see what everybody looks like on the monitor that week, and we'll adjust if we have to. Yeah, there's excuse me, well, we've got like kind of a color for just about everybody that works. And There's always a little adjustment.
Slight variations.
There's always a little adjustment that's got to get done. And this is just the natural one. That's all just powder with it. Is that one of those over there? Powder?
Yeah. Hope they were here because I would buy it.
Oops. Alright, so this is the natural color. Again, don't know what that is. They were doing good. At this point, we would usually have the stage manager on top of us going, we've got 30 seconds. It's nice not having that for a change. And then I'll go into a little darker color, a little light natural too. And this one I'm going to make bigger spots. Yes, close. And then, just to finish it out, I'm going to do a little rice paper over the top of that whole thing, and then we'll go in and do some highlights and shadows, and I think we're pretty close.
Is that rice paper full strength?
This is full strength, yeah. Sometimes that's why I'm dabbing. I'm putting it on and dabbing off the excess. A lot of the colors I use on SNL are full strength. I don't have, just because of the fact of time, or we don't have time to dilute it and to wash your colors. I'm just going to go back in with a little bit of warmth. A little color in the cheeks. Color in the nose. Oh, is there red in there, Jason? Yeah, blood tone's good. I'm just going to put a drop of this. This one I'm going to dilute a little bit. I I know. Usually we're rushing.
What color is that?
Excuse me?
What color is that? Is that?
This is a blood tone. Just, but this one I thinned out a little bit, just to give us some capillary action, especially on her cheeks and on the tip of the nose. Okay, so now I'm going to just a little bit of this. Brush. That's okay. What? How can you not bring that? Yeah, it was a late night last night. We had a show last night, and surprisingly we're actually here. It was not an easy one last night. Yeah, just some white lines, just to, I don't like to accent too much of that, but just a little hint here and there. Just a little bit. It's going to be the last one. Yeah, it's the last one that I looked for. That's the color. Just accentuating some of those lines to give us a little more depth. Yes. Then, on top of all that, just to give her a little bit of sheen, I'm going to give her a little bit of clear gloss. The Illustrator clear gloss. Close your eyes. And that's pretty much the blob, our blobfish makeup. And then from here she would get, you know, get into costume, put on her little bangly bracelets. Yeah. I wish I did. I don't have any, you had any hair gel? I didn't bring any hair gel to make. What we did the first time we just put hair gel on her and made her look all drippy and disgusting. But maybe I'll do that for the photos over there. But yeah, the drippiness really does help. Do we got hair gel with you? What the? Why would you show up without hair gel? Anybody got any questions or anything? Nothing? No? That's it?
Is the Skin Illustrator clear gloss, are you using that more for the shine, or do you use it as do you ever use that as like an evening thing?
No, for this I just use it as a gloss thing because she's supposed to be wet and slimy. When we actually do it, we have like ultra wet that we'll just coat her whole head in, and it just, like I said, the first time we did it, I thought from the dress to air, they're like, oh, we want her to big slimy, so the only thing we had was hair gel, so I just coated her whole head in hair gel. Second time we did it, we used like ultra wet, and we mixed Methicel, like thin Methicel and Jello, and it just looked disgusting and wet and slimy, and it was perfect. Because we also had to do the same thing to Scarlett Johansson to make her into the anglerfish that's out there on display. And the two of them were just great together, turning this two beautiful ladies into these disgusting creatures. It was really a lot of fun. And that's pretty much it. Do we have more time, or did we run out of time? Yeah, that's about it. So if anybody's got any other questions or anything,
How long do they have for a turnaround after to get out?
On this, I think we had to get her out of it and get her back to normal. I think we had like 8 minutes. Yeah, and we took off the bald cap, we took off the face, and then she had to look beautiful and pretty for the next sketch. Yeah. There's a lot of I'm sorry as you're ripping this off, you know. There's I'm sorry, and you're just ripping things off of people's faces. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done.
It's pretty in my book.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Also, when designing a makeup like this, I can't just, a lot of times when we're designing stuff, you got to take into consideration not only the time that it's going to take to put it on, but the time that you're going to take it off afterwards. Because during the dress rehearsal, you might have half an hour to get them out. Between dress and air, they rearrange the order of the show, so that you go from having half an hour and they'll go, oh, well, you got 10 minutes to do that same thing. And that's makeup, hair, and wardrobe time change. One of the times I got myself into a lot of trouble was we did a sketch years ago turning Andy Samberg and Nassim into avatars, back when they did the avatars. So we did a full avatar prosthetic, painted their faces blue, they had air time. They're like, okay, well, you've only got 15 minutes to get them into the makeup, but you've only got 4 minutes to get them out of the makeup. So we had to get all this blue crap off of them, take the whole head pieces off, and make them camera ready for the next sketch. We don't think, when it's happening, you're just ripping and sorry and wiping and getting them out on the floor. And we got Andy cleaned up. He had 4 minutes. We got Andy cleaned up. He's out on the floor. I'm standing there, and all of a sudden Steve Higgins, our head writer, comes over to me, and he's like, you know you screwed up, right? What would I do? He's out there, right? He's like, yeah, but he's the first one out there. You're never going to get 4 minutes ever again. So I kind of screwed myself on, on time there because having 4 minutes was a luxury, I guess. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Thanks for coming, everyone. Thank you. And she's blobfished up. There you go. You're ready to go party now.